I don't know, maybe there's a bit of desperation in here. It's hard work, it's steep, and I've got to be honest, I don't think it's really worth it. You know, it's not unpleasant. Okay, there's another really nicely shaped tree, or at least the top of it. Hello everyone, thank you for joining me, and I'm at Font Roja. In the past I've pronounced it Font Roja, but I've discovered that's wrong because it's a Valencian name, so the pronunciation of the J is different, so it's Font Roja. It's near to Alcoy, still within sort of the Valencian area and the Alicante region of Spain. Last time I was here was at the end of autumn, and it was one of the few places that you could find autumn colours. It's now late spring, almost into summer. It's a very warm day at the beginning of May. I've done a drive up here. It's about an hour and a bit drive. The last bit of it is on some quite fun, windy mountain roads. Double hairpin bends. It's quite entertaining actually, bit of fun. So the plan for today is basically to walk along some of the more secluded trails. So there's like a big wide trail that runs along the side of the mountain, and then I think it curves around and goes up to the summit. But that's mostly quite open, and it's mid-afternoon, and I just think I stand a better chance of finding some interesting shots by going into this narrower trail which kind of threads its way up through the woodland. This is a protected area, and part of the protection is you're not allowed to go off the trails. Now there's actually nobody here to stop me if I wanted to be naughty and go off the trails, but I do think you have to respect the rules in these kind of places, because otherwise the protection doesn't work and this beauty disappears. And it is a beautiful place. It's on the side of a mountain, as I said, some spectacular views out kind of over the more distant mountains over there. I don't know if you can actually see that. Let's wait for the exposure to change a bit. Yeah, it's really nice. The path up here at the moment is actually quite steep. I've just stopped and had a little bit of a break, and I'm just kind of checking out the scene, and then I'm going to carry on walking up. I believe this trail eventually gets to the summit, but I seriously doubt I'm going to do that today. I don't have the time, and I don't have the inclination to do a really long climb. So because we are coming into the summer months now, this is the time that I always find the most challenging, because even though it's the beginning of May, sunset is already about 9 o'clock, and it's getting later, you know, every day. So another 6 weeks, sunset will be 10 past 10, quarter past 10. Plus there's a lot more people about, and unless I go really out into the wilds, trying to find locations to do sunset shoots is really difficult. So I will be doing more early morning shoots. I've done a couple recently. I should be doing some more fairly soon. But I'm also going to be trying to find places that I can come and shoot, you know, middle of the afternoon, middle of the morning. Although conventional wisdom says that you want to be shooting in the golden hour, sunrise or sunset, there's always possibilities, particularly if you can find the right location and the right composition, and that's what I'm going to try to do today. Of course, I might not be successful, I might get nothing, but that's all part of the adventure. Okay, I've climbed up here now for about 45 minutes. It's hard work, it's steep, and I've got to be honest, I don't think it's really worth it. What I'm finding is it's very cluttered, trying to find any spaces where you can kind of isolate any sort of focal points. It's just not working. So I think what I'm going to do is head back down and go along the side of the woodland further down and just see if there's anything that grabs me down there. What's interesting is over here we've got a real mixture of foliage. We've got sort of the normal kind of dull green foliage that we see a lot of in this part of Spain, but in between we've got these really vibrant green bits. Okay, I don't know about this. I really like this tree here, and it goes up. It's got a nice shape up at the top, and when the light hits it, the leaves glow really nicely, and they're just starting to glow a little bit now. I'm waiting for the sun to poke through the clouds a bit. So I'm shooting wide angle, 16mm, vertical orientation, f11, 1/125th of a second at ISO 64, just focusing on the tree basically, because there's nothing else there. And it's the shape of the tree, the light on the leaves, and the cloud patterns in the background. Now there is a little bit of another tree creeping into the scene from the side, which I'll probably clone out to try and make it look a little bit better. I don't know, maybe there's a bit of desperation in here. Just got to wait for the light again and try one more shot. So from this viewpoint, there's a view down to the visitor centre down here, which is closed at the moment. But as well as being a visitor centre, there's also a sanctuary, kind of a church here. And there's a big statue on top of the visitor centre. There's another building further down. Over in the background there's a town, which I think must be Alcoy. Probably, I don't know for sure, but I think it is. And then beyond that there's mountains, and there's some quite nice light on the scene, even though it's sort of still pretty early in the day. 70 to 200 lens, 70mm, and I'm actually going to do 3 shots. I'm going to do one focused right out on the town, one focused on the building, and one focused on this foliage in the foreground, because I can't decide whether I want the foliage in the foreground to be blurry or not. So if I shoot all 3, I can focus stack them to whatever degree I decide I want to get whatever effect I think looks best. It's not really what I came for, but you know, it's not unpleasant. Okay, there's another really nicely shaped tree, or at least the top of it has got some really nice shapes in. And again, once the light hits it, those leaves are really glowing. But again, it's difficult to isolate it. I'm shooting, pointing quite steeply upwards. Just focused on the tree. F11, 1/100th of a second. I don't know. We'll have to see what it comes out like. Okay, so I think I'm about done for the afternoon. I've got to walk back to the car and I've got an hour and a bit's drive home. So I think I'm going to head off. It's nice to come back up here again, but I have to say I think it's a lot prettier in the autumn months than it is now. Maybe just because I was so impressed with all the autumn colours that we had last time, and I think if I time it better, sort of the back end of this year, I might get something even better autumn colour wise. But flies. I don't know. I've had a nice walk around, tired myself out on some of the hills, and now I'm going to go home and see if I manage to get anything for my efforts. I don't think I've got anything particularly fantastic, but maybe something that's worth sharing in the video anyway. I hope you've enjoyed this video anyway. If you have, please consider giving it a like or a share or both. And of course, don't forget about that subscribe button, unless of course you're already a subscriber, in which case, of course, thank you very much. Flies! Also, of course, I love to read your comments, so please let me know what you think, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch. Thank you very much, and until the next video, bye!